he's been acting as a useful idiot for Vladimir Putin for too long.
That is the expectation, that this aid package with its provision for Ukraine, for Taiwan, for Israel too, it's going to be blocked by the hardliners in the House of Representatives. Is that a certainty now?
I would not say it's a certainty for a variety of reasons. There is strong support within the House Republican Congress to fund Ukraine. You don't hear as much from those members because they're not the loudmouths. There are serious members like the chair of the Intelligence Committee, Mike Turner, the chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee, Michael McCall, Brian Fitzpatrick, another strong leader on Ukraine, all of whom are working to make sure that there is a vote on Ukraine funding. The big question is, will the House take up the bill that the Senate passed as is? I think it would be prudent for them to do so. It's very difficult for the House of Representatives to ignore a bill passed by the Senate with 70 votes. Speaker Johnson is now in a predicament. If he says no to this, and if for some reason, Ukraine were to fail and Vladimir Putin and Russia were to be victorious, does he want to be the guy known as the one who enabled, along with Donald Trump, the defeat of Ukraine? I mean, I can't imagine that. So I think Mike Johnson, the Speaker, will be coming under enormous pressure from many of his own members to bring up the Senate bill or something very close to it.
And what about the role of Donald Trump behind the scenes, who's been described and reported to be sort of gumming up the works when it comes to this bill, but also, of course, it doesn't want to see progress. It's said on the border question in America, a huge contentious issue, because he wants that to plague Joe Biden, and he wants to be the savior.
Well, Donald Trump is playing a very destructive role within the House within Congress among Republicans. He essentially is, let's face it, Donald Trump does not want to fund Ukraine. He's really been acting as and this is too kind of a phrase, he's been acting as a useful idiot for Vladimir Putin for too long. And this is just more proof positive of that fact by him trying to blow up the Senate bill, at least as it relates to Ukraine. He failed in that. So right now, I think Trump's role has been terrible for the party. He's also consumed by grievance and anger. He blew up, just as importantly, he blew up the delicately negotiated border security portion of that bill the Senate intended to pass a week or so ago. But again, Trump blew it up because he did not want there to be a solution, or at least a partial solution, on the problems on the border with Mexico. He wanted the issue rather than a solution. So Trump blew that up, even though there were many conservative policy gains there as it relates to the asylum process and other reforms to help fix the border. The Border Patrol Union, those who work on the border, were supportive of the bill, and they've been supportive of Trump over the years. And it's just astounding. But he does not want progress. He wants an issue on the border. And on Ukraine, he simply just does not want to fund Ukraine. And sadly, there are too many Republicans in Congress. Thankfully, not all of them. There are many who don't, but too many Republicans also are now bending to Trump on this issue, largely out of fear of him setting the base upon them.
Out of fear. Now we'll be watching obviously this aid package as it goes through Congress or not. Be really grateful for your thoughts. Maybe on a very near future occasion. Charlie Dent, thank you for for joining us on the show here this afternoon.